I don't have to go now. Schedule.
Thank you, Your Honor. You take care and have a great day.
Y'all do now.
Head the way across the church.
All right. Wooten versus Osteen. Christopher Wooten versus Tammy Osteen, 22B 434.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. What I said? I'm saying?
You can come right up here.
Please rise, please. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Just go.
I think we're where we need to be until April, and then we can decide where to go from there.
Greetings. I'm George Foster Ryan, but to get to Free Press out of Valdosta, Georgia. On Facebook, George Foster Ryan, YouTube, Boston, G.B.R. Today I traveled to Douglas and Crawford County Courthouse because Bobby Worthy and Paul Nally had to appear before Judge Gillis. And as you know, there's a lot of controversy about Douglas and Crawford County judicial system, as well as the whole circuit that in the southeast part of the state. And so I was in the courtroom, and I'm going to add that proceeding with this interview with some well-known people in the community. And so at this time, I'm going to ask Bob Nally, who are not here. I'm going to ask him, why didn't he stick around? Well, he's going to tell me because he had to travel 4.5 hours. And I'm sure that would be his answer. There ain't nothing I can do about that because my plane won't take it. Now, we do have Bobby Worthy here. So, Bobby Worthy, how are you doing today, brother?
Good, man, good.
Can you give us a 911 short form? First of all, why are you even here today?
Well, we're here because some unlawful charges from the Crawford County Grand Jury for filing a petition to the grand jury, and they reversed the charges, had the grand jury indict us for filing false documents to have a judge arrested.
How did that come about? Was some law enforcement or some grand jury brought that up, or what?
Well, what had happened was a guy named Roscoe Allen was held beyond his order, a protected order, for 12 months. The judge, in that order, they never extended Roscoe's time frame. They never took him back to court to extend it. They never took him to court to charge him with a new crime. And that order, during the time Roscoe was in, expired. So thus, the order expired, so did the authority of the judge to keep him incarcerated. And we tried to bring that to their attention. As a matter of fact, I wrote the chief judge who's presiding over the case today a same letter, sent him a letter through email of that same statement that they're holding Roscoe over his authority. They didn't listen, basically. So we filed, me and my co-defendant filed a petition with the Crawford County Grand Jury to have him for falsifying documents, violation of his oath of office, and to remove the Superior Court Judge James Kelly Brook from office. So they in return retaliated, which is, I'm sure George Barnhill has something to do with that. He's the DA now, the Judicial Circuit, until January or February when they take the new DA comes in office. He also was the one that played, George Barnhill played the major part in one of the major parts in the Ahmaud Arbery case, where he, George Barnhill, decided that the Michaels, the murderers, were justified in killing Ahmaud Arbery. He was on that same petition with Jackie Johnson, which this petition, we did get a chance to, with that petition in Glenn County, that me and my co-defendant did get a chance to go to address the Glenn County Grand Jury on our petition to them to answer the charges, is why Jackie Johnson was removed from office. Not removed from office, but indicted by the Glenn County Grand Jury. So we did it here. They in return retaliated and filed false charges on us for falsifying documents.
Okay, I still want you to tell me about today. Short form, what was it and what happened today?
Well, today was an arraignment. Basically, arraignment is a plea of guilty and not guilty. Of course, we pleaded not guilty. And there was other things, what's going on, status of the case and what's going on with the case. One of the things that I think, the key things that I mentioned today is why the Superior Court Judge Judge Gillis, the Chief Judge, did not recuse himself from the beginning of this trial. Because the petition that we filed was against one of his judges in his judicial circuit. Okay. So today I addressed that, and he said, well, there's a time frame for filing that I should have filed it 8 days before this, for that, but he will consider me filing another, to go ahead and file a motion to recuse. When I addressed him, I shouldn't have to file a motion to recuse. You should voluntarily recuse yourself and every judicial circuit judge here. But he said, well, I normally would bring an outside judge anyway on a trial like that, but I can't go on normally, maybe, because you may change your mind during the trial. Mm-hmm. You know, he should do the honorable thing, because I never had an issue with Judge Gillis. He's always been fair. I have no problems with him. But in this case, he should voluntarily recuse himself.
Okay, now, thank you, Mr. Bob Worthy of Justice League United. Before I go to Commissioner Olivia Pearson, if you can recall what this individual by the name of George Barn here, what did he say about the Get To Free Press and my reporting of the news in another situation in Waycross?
Well, he proceeded to call this lady, mutual friend, mutual acquaintance that we knew, what she called him, and basically he threatened about having me arrested for an unlawful practice of law. You know, I addressed that. First of all, you don't have that authority to punish unlawful practice of law. Not the jurors, not the judge, not the prosecutor. That law by the Georgia Supreme Court has issued. The state bar of Georgia is the one in charge of practicing and punishing unlawful law. And in that same situation, he clarified the ghetto free press, the voice that others ignore, with George Boston Ryan, as a uncertified press.
But I'm here today, right?
And you're here today.
And where are those certified presses? Was the certified presses in the courtroom today?
No.
Was the certified, did you talk to the certified press today?
No.
Did they show up?
I did talk to one, but they didn't show up.
Right, okay, now, we are the Get To Free Press, and our bases are based upon St. John 8:32, and ye shall know the truth, and that the truth will set and make you free. I served this country for over 20 years, and I got mad as hell when I found out that the mainstream white-owned, white-dominated, and white-controlled news media failed to publish the news in the black community. So I picked up my camera and started doing this with over 2 million views on Boston G.B.R. YouTube. And Mr. Barn here, I respect you. I'm not going to talk ill of you like you spoke ill of me, but I am going to continue to do what Jesus said, and that is to love ye one another. Olivia COLEY Pearson, Commissioner, outstanding Commissioner. Can you tell me what in heaven, I ain't going to say hell, but what in heaven are you doing here today? I just saw you Saturday and you're back up here today.
Yes, sir. Good morning, good afternoon. I'm not certain of the time. I think we're still in the morning hours. But anyway, let me first of all and foremost say to you, Mr. Rhines, thank you. Because like you just said, I was here Saturday and so were you. So thank you for being the news media to come out to all communities to cover the news and to cover it fairly and equally. I thank you. I salute you, as I always have. The reason I am here today is because Mr. Bobby Worthy and Mr. Paul Nally were having an arraignment today, so I came out to support them because I know that what they had done, and I believe in my heart that what they had done on behalf of Mr. Roscoe Allen towards contacting the grand jury to submit additional information about that case was the right thing to do. They were exercising their right to freedom of speech, their constitutional rights. And we need more people like Mr. Worthy and Mr. Nally to get involved and stand up for justice and speak out against injustice. So yes, sir, I was here Saturday on behalf of the Pernell Harris case. I have questions concerning what happened with Mr. Pernell Harris, which eventually led to his death. I have questions about that. As an elected official in the city of Douglas, Georgia, we have not been informed formally as to what took place in that situation. We have not been provided any written documentations concerning an investigation. So yeah, I was present Saturday on that behalf because, hey, I want answers. And Chief of Police, Sheriff, Coffee County Sheriff, City Manager, someone should have gotten with all of the elected officials to give us a briefing on the details of what happened with Mr. Pernell Harris. And we did not receive that. And I'm here today again because of what has happened to former Judge Nally and Mr. Bobby Worthy.
Commissioner Pearson, I'm see how to put this. What has been the opinion from the county commissioners, chairman, or the city commission chairman, which is the mayor, Tony Paul? What are their positions on this issue dealing with this young man?
Mr. Rhines, I have to honestly say that none of them, and again I say none of them, have made a formal or public statement concerning the matter. We have not been briefed in executive session concerning the matter. Nobody has taken a stand or a comment for or against in any kind of way. I addressed it at a city commissioner meeting one night that the city officers who were present at that incident, in my opinion, should have been placed on leave without pay pending an investigation. The city manager then responded to me, well, they should not be placed on that because they haven't done anything wrong. And my response to him was, we don't know what has been done wrong or what has been done right until an investigation has been conducted to let us know the facts.
Okay, I have two other questions for you. Number one, what have George Barnhill special news media published about this incident?
I can honestly say again, to my knowledge, I have not seen any publication, any statement concerning the issue from the chief district attorney for this county.
Okay, now the lack of action by those in authority, I repeat, the lack of action by those in authority. Is this an isolated incident in terms of how they treat cases here in Douglas and Coffee County? And I'm speaking of the news media and the judicial system. Is this typical of what they do and how they handle things?
Mr. Rhines, again, this is typical of how Coffee County usually conduct business. If it's a case that they are not favorable upon, then they try to keep it hidden under the rug, swept under the rug, keeping the people, the citizens, out of the know. But some of that fault lies with the citizens here in Douglas and Coffee County because they want to sit on their ends of do nothing and not hold people accountable who are supposed to be making sure that things are done fairly. So until the citizens of Douglas, Coffee County, Georgia come together and say no more will we stand for lack of accountability by those in authority, these people are going to continue to handle the law and handle the people exactly how they want to. I can't urge enough for the citizens of Douglas, black, white, Hispanic, blue, and green, to get involved and to stop sitting back and not standing up for justice.
Pernell Harris' father and relatives stood here on these courthouse steps. And correct me if I'm wrong, very few, I know you was here,
Yes, sir.
but you were elected by the people, and so was the other elected officials.
Yes, sir.
How could it be that elected officials are not concerned about a young black boy who get injured and eventually die a year later? Does it not concern them, or what would you? Why would they not be, including the black ones? Why would they not be here? I heard there was somebody else other than you, but I was amazed as the president, Tabitha
Paul.
called this meeting to get justice, had state representative, I believe, from Atlanta to come here.
Right.
But the elected officials seem to be unconcerned. And so we are not like the traditional news media. I just don't want to give a lot of junk. I want to ask the right question. So
Yes,
my
sir.
question to you direct again is, why is it that some issues seem to be from the outside more important than others?
To put it in a nutshell, Mr. Rhines, the reason for that is simply because some elected officials, most elected officials in Douglas Coffee County operate in a sense of apathy. They are in the positions that they are in for the wrong reasons. They're not there to stand up for what's right and to represent the people. They are there to gain what they can personally gain to help benefit themselves. And I'm telling it exactly like it is. They are there for the wrong reasons. But the ultimate line, the bottom line is the people are voting them there. And if the people don't have enough common sense to see that we don't need people who don't care about people in office, we need folks who care about people to be elected. That's the bottom line. And it's time to call a spade and an ace a ace. And I am sick to my stomach of people who want to take advantage of the citizens of Douglas and Coffee County for personal gain. And they don't give a damn about the welfare of all folk in this community. I'm sick and tired of it.
Mr. Worthy, considering the work that you have done here in Coffee County, I have walked with you on a couple of issues. You stood with Roscoe Allen. What do you think about our spiritual, God-sent leaders that those covenant of this dispensation, but refuse to carry it? In other words, let me put it to you like this. How can they take our tithe money but can't touch us in the community on the issues?
Well, it's like I've always said, you got those who are right and those who are wrong. You got those on the left and you got those on the right. You got those pretenders that want to be media H's. I can't say that, but I'm going to get a few praise. Media hoes. But anyway, you got those pretenders. Right. They only show up when it's the glory for them, yes, not the glory for justice.
Right.
Like the pretenders like me. I've been doing this 3 decades.
Right.
There is no one in this movement that has done and achieved what I have done. And those who I've stood with for years cannot stand with me when I have done the impossible.
Yes.
Not only have I changed the ball game, if we win this case,
okay,
the world wins this case.
That's right.
The movement wins this case.
Yes.
Justice wins this case.
Right.
And y'all don't understand that. Instead, you want to have your Martin Luther King, I have a dream speeches, and your bullhorns with pretending, hollering, I'm not going to take it no more. What I want to know, when is I'm not going to take it no more and I'm tired? Is that everlasting? Does it have an end? Because you say it all the time. And I'm telling you, all you pretenders, you attorneys out there, you are officers of the court.
That's
See,
right.
I know the difference. You're an officer of the court. Upon your sworn affidavit, right, you can have somebody arrested. Stop lying to the people about you're going to do this, and you know you ain't going to do nothing but go back with another bullhorn, waiting on another I have a dream speech.
Yes.
An ambulance chaser.
Yes.
Now I'm sick and tired of that, because that is what's going to destroy us.
Yes.
It's our human nature that leads us, and I keep telling y'all that. Unity is going to start in here, not with the body. We can show up with rifles, weapons and march all day long. They don't care about that. It is that ink pen, that paperwork that they understand.
That's it.
And respect.
That's it.
So stop all the pretending and let's come together. Oh, and as one, they don't take but one person to start a war, but it's going to take to start a fight, but it's going to take an army to win the battle.
That's right. That's exactly
Now
right.
I serve this United States country, and I'm ashamed of you black folks. It's a shame that y'all only want to stand up and hallelujah, praise Jesus and all that, but you allow these people to kill, murder, destroy, and arrest your children. And you don't want to come out until it affects you or hit you at your doorstep.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
I travel all over this country. I'm sick and I'm tired. And now I'm facing my freedom.
Yes.
For fighting for you
somebody
people.
else. That's it.
And they won't even show up.
And they won't even show up. And it's crazy. Nobody, even in this movement, the social people close to me, have donated to our GoFundMe for our attorney fees. None, not one. I hate to say it, I got white people that donated, that thank me for what I do. And us, the people the same color our skin, I'll tell you what it is, y'all. Minister Farrakhan said it years ago. Dr. Khalid Muhammad said it. Even Marcus Garvey said it in so many ways. We are in a mental state of slavery. And if we don't get out of it, we are going to be lost as a people, because your mental state of slavery is going to filter down into your children and your children's children. And then history is going to keep repeating itself. And if we're not careful, we're going to be back in bondage again.
Yes.
Y'all better get it together, people.
They better.
Y'all better get it together, because like I said, if I win this, we have changed the ball game.
Yes.
And they know that.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to let you get your air, and then I'm going to come back and let you close us out, Bobby. You have anything you want to say, my brother?
I do want to say, mental bondage is the worst kind of bondage.
Yes, it is.
Physical bondage and mental bondage. I done been in both.
Yes, sir.
So I just came out of physical bondage.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the people are still mentally bondage, and they scared to fight and stand up.
That's it.
For one, they're content with what's going on, and they don't see no other way. But if you want to change, you got to change for yourself.
That's it.
You can't wait on everybody else to do it.
All right, what's your name?
My name's John Young.
James Young. Your name?
Olivia Coley Pearson.
Bobby Worthy.
Now, you got something you want to say? All right, but I got a question when you finish.
Yes, I wanted to say, people, I get mad sometimes. I'm upset about this. I even told the judge that today. I'm upset because it doesn't make no sense.
Understandably.
Understanding because of what they done.
Right.
Because of this, I lost my job.
Right.
Not because of a conviction,
right,
but a pending felony.
That was the question I was going to ask you, so you just throw out my question.
A pending felony. Not a conviction, but a pending felony. And because I've lost my job, the jobs that I qualify for, they said they can't take the chance or the opportunity to give me the opportunity because I may go to jail. And I mentioned that today because this has made my life a living hell, excuse my language, and it's still going on. I'm being punished, not for selling drugs.
Come on.
Not for rape, not for murder.
Right.
You know, not for any kind of injustice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm being punished for fighting for justice.
That's
for
right.
me, for you,
that's
for
right.
everyone.
That's
for
right.
my children and my grandkids won't have to go through this.
That's right.
We've been marching and protesting for decades and years, for over 400 years, and it's
still happening.
It's still happening. Now, marching and protesting is good because it brings awareness. But if you're not if your marching and protest is not bringing about an effective change, then you are wasting your time.
That's it. That's it.
We have to change this, people. If you don't change the mindset, if you don't change the concept in your mind, then our body is going to follow wherever the mind is. So if your mind is in a mental state of slavery, your body is going to follow right behind it.
Okay, now, Olivia, I want you to paint this picture.
Yes, sir.
Because people may not understand it. And the traditional news media don't give the time to explain it.
Okay.
I want you to explain it in your own way for the general public. Although George Barn here say I'm not a traditional news media guy, but I'm going to try my best to do what his news media has never done.
Right.
First of all, before Bobby Knowles was charged with whatever charge they got, there was something that happened back with a $40,000 contractor that started this whole mess, and he never received his money, I understand. Would you explain the base of why Bobby Knowles had to get involved? We ended that situation. We're going to close it out.
Yes, sir. Before I get into answering that question for you, Mr. Rhines, let me first of all say this in regards to what Mr. Worthy just stated. You know, the marching is fine. There is a place and a time for everything. But we have to make sure that we are not wasting our time. I came out here Saturday for the march, as I had came before for the other marches. And as I said to the president of the NAACP, what is the agenda? What's the plan of action? What is the plan from here when we leave these steps from marching? I almost didn't come because I'm somewhat tired of marching and not seeing any results. It disheartened me to be the only black elected official present Saturday. There was one more, Commissioner Ed Taylor, who came out. He stayed for about 10 minutes here at the courthouse. And Ms. Pope, in her capacity as NAACP president, did not have enough respect to acknowledge me.
No, wait. I'm not going to have you bashing nobody unless it's true.
I'm not bashing anyone. I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. In her official capacity as state president of the NAACP, Coffee County president of NAACP, she did not even recognize me to call my name and thank me for coming out to that march that she put on. Everybody knows my health condition. I cannot walk very far. I cannot stand long. The reason why I'm sitting right now. But even though I was aching, I knew the seriousness and the importance of coming out to support that family, so I came anyway. And then there was not even the decency of respect to say, Commissioner Pearson is here and we thank you for coming. But anyway, getting back to what was said by Bobby, and the point I want to make is we can march all day, but if we don't have a plan, our marching is in vain. I told her, come up with an agenda. What's the plan of action? What do we want to achieve? Some people have a problem listening to other people, but you got to say what you want. You put it, something I learned in college at Clark College long years ago. Maya Angelou came to speak to my college and I was present for that event. The topic of that presentation was, the sword is mightier than the pen. And at that time, young age of 21 years old or 20, I didn't understand exactly what it meant, but I understand now. You see, what we've got to do is to organize. The pen is mightier than the sword. I'm sorry if I said it wrong. Just a misquote. The pen is mightier than the sword. Did I say the sword is mightier than the pen? No, the sword is definitely not mightier than the pen. So we don't want to take action that way with the sword. We want to utilize the pen. And by utilizing the pen is what Mr. Worthy and what Paul Nally did by filing papers in court. So we've got to organize ourselves and get paperwork filed in court demanding our rights are respected and we are given what we deserve. So that's the importance. Now back to your question that I missed in saying all that. You asked me a question, Mr. Rhines. Repeat it for me.
Short form. White contractors and black contractors,
yes, sir,
performed their job.
Yes, sir.
They got paid and Oscar didn't. Oscar's mad as hell and I would be too, so explain that.
Yes, sir. Mr. Roscoe Allen, all of this started when Mr. Roscoe Allen did not receive his $40,000 where he was a private contractor developing property in the city of Douglas. Mr. Allen came before the city council to request his reimbursement of his $40,000 for developing water, sewer development in a certain community here in Douglas. The city council failed to pay Mr. Allen his $40,000 for his subdivision development for the water sewer. But yet, the white contractors got their monies. Mr.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I was on the council and still on the council. Mr. Allen came before us several times to request that he get reimbursed of his monies. Mr. Allen was never reimbursed. As a result of never being reimbursed, he came to our meeting several times requesting it. The mayor became upset and irate that he kept coming. He found a way to stop him from coming asking for his money, and he decided to take out a restraining order on Mr. Allen so that he could no longer come before our city council to request his money. And that's the gist of how all of this got started. Mr. Allen was only exercising his rights, but Mr. Paul, the mayor, did not want him to do so. He felt that it was embarrassing him as the mayor. He did not like it, and he filed for a restraining order based on no facts, based on no witnesses, because I was in the courthouse when they had the hearing about it. He had no witnesses present to say that Mr. Allen had been stalking him and harassing him, and the judge granted it anyway. I filed for a restraining order against Robert Preston, who threatened me at a city council meeting. However, my restraining order was not granted, and it was on camera of Mr. Preston threatening me. So you go figure. Is it apples to apples in Coffee County, apples to oranges, or apples, oranges, and bananas? Citizens of Douglas and Coffee County, get up off your butts and investigate and look into what's happening here, and take a stand and vote these corrupt people out of office.
Olivia, I want to close on this note. Bobby, you may be able to comment on this. Bobby, have you seen wherein the white news media made accusations against blacks, and you all met at a church? What news media was that? And we have it documented. And the people stood up and say, about 13 or 19 people said they all lied, they lied on them. And it's recorded, it's on record, yes. But yet you don't hear about that in the mainstream news media. Mr. George Bond Hill, go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, well, the only one was there that I know of is the ghetto free press, that uncertified press, according to George Bond Hill. The same one that said that the McMurderers were justified in assaulting, stalking, and killing Ahmaud Arbery. But really and truly, they got arrested, they got convicted, both in state and federal court. But is that really justice? Can we ever get justice for death? You might get a little money and compensation.
That's not justice.
But you can't never get true justice.
You can't bring that life back.
You cannot bring that life back. Money is not going to replace that body. And if George allowed me, I got one more thing to say.
Don't forget to speak on the church that day.
Huh?
Don't forget to speak on the church that day where we were accused of killing, coming to kill certain people.
Okay, yeah, and listen, at that church, we had a meeting. Miss Olivia, several of us, some of the people was in wheelchairs. We couldn't work. Robert Preston, yeah, I'm talking about you.
With Douglas Now.
Douglas Now. What's the other one?
Douglas Enterprise.
Douglas Enterprise said that I was training elderly people to be killers.
Right. That's right.
That's what they had in the paper.
That's what they had in the paper.
They said I was training elderly people. Many couldn't even walk.
Right.
But I was training them to kill. But Robert Preston, we ain't gonna talk about your daddy and the charges against him.
Okay.
But it's coming.
Okay.
But anyway,
truth is the truth.
The truth is the truth should set you free. But I want to piggyback on Miss Olivia as a commissioner. Now, I go around and I studied a lot of county and city ordinances. The problem with the Douglas city commissioners is there's ain't but one of them that know policies, know their own standard operating procedures, that know their own charter, well, one that pretends to know, the ones that they probably know and just ignore it.
Okay.
The mayor doesn't know his power or authority. The city council doesn't know their authority. See, listen, a mayor, normally in a city, is a spokesman, just like the NAACP president. They are a spokesman for the brand. It is the
Right.
city council that carry the power. The thing about Douglas, Coffee County is the worst, is you city councilors are cowards, don't even know your own charter.
Right.
But you
Right.
want to talk about Bobby Worthy. One time the sheriff, told her, you the one got involved with Bobby Worthy. Really?
Say that's
I'm so
what,
sick of y'all don't even know me.
say
And
that's
y'all
what the
was
people in the community
You
was
didn't say.
telling him. Their problem with me was that I was involved with Mr. Worthy.
Yeah, so I'm telling y'all, I don't care if you're white or black. If you don't like me for some reason, when you see me, slap me. That's all I got to do. I ain't going to say I'm going to do anything, but I know one thing. Somebody going to the jail, hospital, or the graveyard, you touch me. I assure you that I'm going to stand my ground. And I'm sick of y'all people being cowards, but just you want to run back. Bobby Worthy this, Bobby Worthy that, Bobby Worthy this. But Bobby Worthy doing something in the community. Bobby
right.
Working made the change. I done sent judges. I done got judges off the bench. I done sent police to jail. What are you doing?
That's right.
Besides running your mouth.
Okay. All right. We appreciate that. I'm gonna ask you all to stay where you're at, and I'm about to close it out. But I'm gonna close it out in my way because I own the cameras.
All right.
I want the people that's watching live on Facebook to watch me as I stand with them. And the reason I'm standing with them
All right.
is because they're doing something.
Yes, sir.
You don't see me standing with your local pastors, your local imams, your local rabbis, and your local sheikhs,
All
and
right.
your
now.
priests. I stand with the people that are standing up with the people.
Yes.
That have enough courage
Yes, sir.
to do what Jesus did one day.
That's it.
He got on his ass and he rode among the people.
Yes.
And as he rode, he brought about changes.
Change.
The
That's
change was so devastating until we are talking about those changes today. So I
Yes.
stand proudly with these four people
Yes,
who
sir.
got enough guts
Yes.
to eat the real food
Yes, sir.
and the real words of the Jesus that y'all dip with.
All
What
right.
you mean dip, Brother Rhymes? You duplicate, you imitate, and you placate their lives.
Yes, sir.
But you won't walk down the streets
Streets.
of Jericho Road.
That's it.
You won't let the hand of God be upon you so you can walk into the valley of dry bones in Douglas and say, hear ye, O dry bones
Yeah.
of Douglas. Stand up and register
Stand
to
up.
vote.
Yes.
Get involved when you see your brothers and sisters down in the ditch.
Yes.
Don't step in their face and say, that's a bitch. I just stepped on.
Okay.
No. Jesus went to lift people up.
That's
He's
right.
not like the regular traditional speakers today. You see them on TV. They take their hand and knock people down. Jesus used his hand to pick people
them up.
And these three people are speaking the truth.
Yes.
Because they understand St. John 8:32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And you cannot be free until the power of God gets you up out of the ditch.
Yes.
Get you out of your bed and get out the city council meeting. County commissioners.
Yes.
Come to the marches that the NAACP called.
Yes.
Pick up your membership with the NAACP and other organizations.
Yes.
And I want to give a special shout out today for Saturday, the new Black Panther representatives were there.
Yes.
And I cannot omit you. And we thank you so much for standing strong because you got on your ass and rode into Jerusalem.
Yes, sir.
You God bless you all.
My name is Crystal.
Say it again.
Crystal Immune.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
At this time, we're going to go directly into the City of Douglas Mayor Commission meeting. Good evening.
We here. You over everything. You the boss, but you don't want us to be heard. It's an ambush. It's an ambush.
Well, you want to speak, right?
I had to speak. I have to speak because they have to have support. They ain't got no support. If no black males don't come out and support these ladies, man, they gonna see how he do. That's what he'll do. He'll cut it off. Just cut it off. Basketball.
Commissioner, what short, I know you got to go back in the meeting, but short form, do you think that was right? I mean, how do you feel about it?
Of course not, Mr. Ryan. It's been wrong for a long time. This mayor that we got, I begged these people in Douglas, Georgia, to not support him. When they saw how he did Roscoe Allen about his $40,000, when they saw how he did Brandon Paul with his job, and now just 3 weeks ago, this black woman, Joanne Robinson, they just railroaded and they got her out of her job for 17 and a half years. They do what they want to do to black folk. One exception, Britt Leverett, they did him wrong. He had reported on a white guy who had a Ku Klux Klan hood. Next thing we know, Britt done got rid of. This mayor upholds this stuff. It's time out for it. It's time out. The people better know what's going on and come together. And I'm telling you, better find y'all somebody to run for mayor. Cause we started going back. We are started going back. He sure do.
He done sat there and told the biggest lie in the world on that man, him and that white dude. Both of them need to be locked up. This a bunch of bull jive in Douglas, Georgia. Douglas, Georgia need to stop. Out of 49 years, I ain't never seen nothing like this. If the man could sit up and lie like that, I could go take out a warrant and say Robert said he was gonna kick my ass.
That's right. And
now, is you gonna let me go with it?
They ought to honor that.
Was you a witness to that?
I was up there. I heard it on the phone.
Yeah.
Only thing that man said he was gonna impeach his ass.
I don't know who they don't really talk. I'm gonna F you up and I'm gonna whoop your ass. I don't know who they heard say that. He made one statement. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time, young people. It's time.
Pouring about it here. Hold up. Y'all know why it's bigger than the block? Because we ain't got the money that them white folks giving this nigga.
Right. It's a shame.
That's what it is. This nigga getting paid, dog, on something. That's what he doing. Only thing that nigga doing is sitting in them white folks' lap, being a Benedict or an Uncle Tom, everything it is to be. That's what that nigga is. He ain't shit.